Alright, so hi guys. I'm recording this video for like the third time. But anyway, okay, so this is my breast reduction journey vlog. And so I'm gonna start about 4 years ago. I went to get a breast reduction consultation with a surgeon, and she basically recommended that I lose weight and make sure I have all the kids that I'm gonna have before she does the surgery, because it's a possibility I could lose my nipples. And so I said, okay, all right, I'll go do that and then I'll come back. So what ended up happening was it was harder for me to lose weight than what I wanted it to be. So it took me a long time to try and get some weight off. And then not only that, but then my husband wasn't too happy about the idea of me losing my nipples, and so I was thinking about that, and me too, like I was thinking about it too. And so it wasn't really something that I wanted. And so I was thinking, okay, let me see if I can get a second opinion, but let me try and lose weight first, and then go from there. So I was working on my weight loss, and then I ended up getting pregnant again with my second son. So I had my second son. Now, when I had him, he was in the hospital. Put a stick pin in that. I'll come back to that. I had him in January, and he was in the hospital. So, this was about maybe 2 years after my first consultation. So what I did after I gave birth to him was I went and talked to my primary care physician and told her, said, hey, I'm looking into breast reduction again. Could you refer me to another surgeon? And so I went and I met with a doctor named Dr. Jeffrey Morehouse. And this is who my, my primary care physician had referred me to. So I met with him. And at this consultation, what he did was he took my measurements. He measured me from collarbone to nipple on both sides. So on this side, it was 10 centimeters. On this side, it was 13 centimeters. And so he took my measurements. He took pictures of my shoulder grooves. And then he let me know, like, I had to stop breastfeeding for at least 6 months before he could perform the surgery. And so I said, okay. And then I started asking him, like, hey, is it possible that my insurance covers this? And so he said, if it's medically necessary, if we can prove that, it's medically necessary, yeah. So I said, okay, all right. So he said, okay, we're going to submit this to your insurance. We've got the pictures, we've got, your measurements. You look like a good candidate. So he submitted it. He said, listen, I'll call you back in about a week with what your insurance says, and let you know what your insurance says. So I said, okay. So a few days later, the receptionist calls me and she's like, your request got denied. And so I'm just like, did they say why? Like, what happened? And so she basically told me, so let me back up. I had 2 insurances at the time. I had United Healthcare through my job, and I had Presbyterian Medicaid. So the United Healthcare was my primary insurance. So they went through my primary insurance first. So I said, okay. So my primary insurance denied me. The United Healthcare denied me because it was not a service that they covered under that membership. Then the receptionist let me know that with Medicaid, they could send in a request to Medicaid for them to pay for the surgery. But she said, what I know of them is that they require you to at least do physical therapy or something showing that you've tried treatment and it's failed. And then if you do that and it's failed and you turn in your request, then more than likely it'll be approved because you've tried treatment and failed. So I said, okay. So before she sent in that request, I went ahead and I told her I'm going to go back to my primary care physician and start physical therapy. So my primary care physician, she sent me to a physical therapist, and I started doing physical therapy. My physical therapy started in June and was going to continue until September. From June until September. And so around August, we found out my son was going to be coming home from the hospital. And so once he came home from the hospital, it just got to be a lot. Like, it was, he had a lot of health issues. So that's where my main focus was. And I just, I was thinking, how would I take off the time? Because he requires around-the-clock care and all that stuff. And then not only that, but the day we brought him home was the day I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, surprisingly enough. And so what ended up happening was I said, okay, well, I'll just have to postpone my surgery until my life gets into a better place. So fast forward to this year. So March 31st, I had my daughter. I breastfed her for about a month. So I remembered what Dr. Morehouse had said at the first consultation I had with him, where I would have to stop breastfeeding for 6 months and I would have to go to physical therapy. So I said, okay, since I already have to wait 6 months before after breastfeeding to have my surgery, I said, let me go ahead and go back to my primary care physician and get another referral for physical therapy. So that's what I did. Then I did physical therapy for about 6 weeks, and they ended up writing me a referral to get a breast reduction as well. Because the treatment, like when I was in physical therapy, like when I would do the treatment, it helped while I was there, but then as soon as I left, it was my back was sore again. So what ended up happening from there was I went back to Dr. Morehouse's office. And so I presented him with the paperwork from my doctor and from the physical therapist, because my primary care physician had written me a referral as well, a second one. And so I took my referral, I took my physical therapy form, and I brought it to Dr. Morehouse's office. And so he took my measurements again. He took pictures again and said, okay, we're going to take all this information, and thank goodness that you did the physical therapy, because that's what they're going to be looking for with the insurance. So I said, okay. So he said, it's a really good chance that you'll get approved. I said, all right, awesome. So he measured me from the same place, collarbone to nipple. And so both sides were 22 centimeters. So in terms of bra size, he said I was about a 42J or a 42L. And so I'm like, I was like, no wonder I can't find bras that fit. So anyway, next thing was, he said he was going to take all my paperwork, take my pictures, and send it into the insurance. And the insurance would call me in about a week and let me know if they approve it or not. So a week came, and I called my insurance because I hadn't heard back from them. So I called my insurance and said, hey, did you guys get my paperwork from my surgeon? And they were like, no, we don't see it. And so she was like, I'm going to put you on a brief hold, and then I'll come back to you and let you know what we found. So I'm like, all right, cool. So she was gone for like a good, maybe 20 minutes. And so she came back and she told me, she was like, sorry, it took me so long. Basically what happened was the doctor had sent all my information and a prior authorization form. And so the insurance it kind of had my documents in limbo, because if it was a cosmetic procedure, or if it was a cosmetic reason why I was getting the breast reduction, then I would need a prior authorization. But if it's a medically necessary breast reduction, then I don't need one. And so it would be up to the surgeon to decide if it was medically necessary. And so I said, okay. So she said, so as it stands, you don't need a prior authorization. The surgeon just needs to okay the surgery and then let us know that you need it paid for, basically. I said, okay, well, that's great news. So I got off the phone with them, immediately called Dr. Morehouse's office and told them the information. And so the nurse let me know, the receptionist let me know that she was going to let Dr. Morehouse know and get back to me in a couple days. So a couple days came, and she called me and said, we got all your information. It is correct. You don't need a prior authorization. And so the surgeon believes it's medically necessary for you to get the surgery, so we can go ahead and schedule it. So now my surgery is scheduled for October 13th. And she told me that he is going to take out 700 grams in each breast, which comes out to roughly like 1.5 pounds on each side. He said the smallest he'll probably be able to get me is like a double D, which, I mean, I want it to be a D. Like, I really want it to be a D, but if it's a double D, I'll take it. I will take it. It's smaller than what I got, so I will take it. So yeah, I'm going to do a breast reduction surgery vlog when the time gets closer. So I'm excited. I'm so excited, so nervous. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I'll keep you guys updated and stay tuned for pictures. I'm going to put my before pictures up, and then during my surgery vlog, I'll put my after pictures. And another thing, I asked him, I said, does Dr. Morehouse's office use drains? And she said he does, but it's rare. She told me that he's, been doing surgery for years, and she's like, she can't think of the last time that he's actually had to use drains for a patient. So I'm hoping I don't have drains, because I am terrified of having to have them taken out after the fact. But anyway, so I will keep you guys updated, and also let me let you see this real quick, and you let me know if you want me to do a TWA vlog on how I get these luxurious curls, because girl, these curls are popping, if I do say so myself. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
7 days, 7 nights since my hair got cut and dyed. And I've had 7 days since I tried to rip a chapter out my mind. I've tried, and his laugh is just as soft as yours, smiling just as wide. He could be what I like, and his voice is just as dark as yours, freckles just as light. Could be what I desire. Still feels like my hands are tied, hands are tied, hands are tied. 'Cause he's got those stranger eyes, stranger eyes, stranger eyes. And he could be what I like, what I like, what I like. But he's got those stranger eyes, stranger eyes, stranger eyes. by chance.